On the evening of October 17th, 2006, Zack jumped to his death from the 7th floor of the Omni Royal New Orleans Hotel. He had his military dog tags and a handwritten note in a plastic bag in his pocket. His note read, "This is not accidental. I had to take my own life to pay for the one I took. If you send a patrol car to 826N Rampart, you'll find the dismembered corpse of my girlfriend Addie in the oven, on the stove, and in the fridge. And a full signed confession from myself. ... Zack Bowen." But before we get any further, hello, and welcome to the Murder House Radio Show. I'm your host, X. On this show, we will be covering serial killers, disappearances, true crime, and the most deplorable things and people in history. Uploads will take place every Friday at 4:30 Mountain Standard Time. Please hit the like and subscribe button, and hit the bell notification to get all notifications, and hit the follow button if you are listening on a podcasting platform. With all that out of the way, sit back, grab some coffee or whatever your preferred beverage is, turn down the lights, and enjoy the show. Addie Hall was known as a free-spirited, feisty-tempered, independent artist, and Zack Bowden was known as a charismatic, charming, and good-looking young man. With that being said, how did these depraved acts take place, and what prompted them? Addie Hall was from the Northeast states, but eventually found herself in New Orleans. She was a poet, artist, dancer, and bartender with an abundance of friends. However, she had a strained romantic relationship with men due to past abusive partners. Zack grew up in California and had a laid-back attitude towards life. Zack was married once to a woman 10 years older, and they had 2 kids together. Zack joined the army in order to provide for his family. However, Lana, his wife, decided to take the kids and leave him. Zack suffered from PTSD from his time in service. Zack was never able to get help for his PTSD. However, he got a job at the same bar as Abby, the French Quarter. Zack and Abby met while at work bartending. Addie would flirt and play hard to get to see if he could handle her. Addie did have bipolar disorder, and she took her medication irregularly, so she was prone to outbursts and mood swings. Friends of Zack and Addie would recall that they had major fights, and that they had a relationship fueled by drugs and alcohol. They were dating for a few short weeks before Hurricane Katrina came and ravaged New Orleans. They hunkered down and stuck it out together and fell in love during this time. After the hurricane, they would help the community by serving food, and they were known as the king and queen of the quarter. After a while, things started to go back to relative normalcy. But life hit, bills, work, etc. Addie just wanted Zack, not his responsibilities of life, like his work or his kids. They kept getting into vicious fights, and to try to fix things, they decided to get a new apartment together. When they did, Addie found out Zack was cheating on her. Addie also went to the landlord and asked that they put the lease in her name only. However, Zack's infidelity was the last straw, and she ended the relationship. At this, Zack was angry and distraught, and around 1 a.m. on October 5th, 2006, Zack strangled Addie to death while drunk. Once he was done, he passed out next to her body, and when he woke up, he committed necrophilia. Then he went to work. Coworkers remember him acting strange, being quiet. Over the next several days, Zack dismembered Addie's body in their bathtub. He used a hacksaw and a knife. He put the pieces of her body in and on top of the stove. He also put pieces in the fridge. He cut her hair off and put her head in a pot on the stove and her hands and feet in another on the back burner. He put her legs and arms on a pan in the oven, and he put her torso in a black garbage bag. His intentions for cooking her were to make it easier to separate the meat from the bone. Addie's friends and coworkers began to ask Zack questions on Addie's whereabouts. On Tuesday evening, on October 17th, 2006, about 2 weeks after Addie's death, Zack jumped to his death from the 7th floor of the Omni Royal New Orleans Hotel. He had his dog tags and a handwritten note in a plastic bag in his pocket. He also had the gate key to Addie's apartment. When the police got to the apartment, they found a horrific and sad scene. None of the boxes have been unpacked, and the apartment was ice cold, and the air conditioning set to 60 degrees on full blast. There is no smell or blood in the bathroom. On the walls, there were spray-painted words saying, "I loved her," "I'm a total failure," and "look in the oven," with an arrow pointed at the oven. Zack's note stated what I said in the beginning of the video. So, what do you guys think on this video? I think it definitely could have been prevented. It was definitely a toxic relationship. Definitely could have been prevented, but I think that governments need to do a better job at providing care, aftercare, for their service members getting out of service. I'm not sure how big of a part his PTSD played in this, but I'm pretty sure it was a significant part, because when people get PTSD, they often turn to liquor and whatnot and have anger problems and whatnot. So I think it had a significant part, and maybe if he got treatment, this whole situation could have been avoided. But yeah, I think he definitely should have tried to get help. Definitely. And maybe they could have spotted the red flags in the relationship a bit sooner and mitigated that as well. But yeah, what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments below. It's definitely a sad case, very sad case, but interesting. But yeah, that is the case of Zack and Addie Hall. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Murder House Radio Show. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share for more if you are viewing on YouTube. Leave recommendations for future episodes in the comments. Don't forget to hit the bell notification to get all notifications. If you are listening on a podcasting platform, hit follow, and it doesn't hurt to give a 5-star review. I hope you have a good rest of your day. This is your host X, signing off.